right, ladies and gentlemen, if we could get you to have a seat. For those of you like Adria who are not sitting, it's okay. Once again, welcome to this celebration of Desmond Baine and his family and friends. We certainly thank you folks for coming out. As you are aware, Des will be hosting the Community and Schools Backpack event from 12 to 3 in the Seton parking lot. I know he just did this event a couple of weeks ago down in Memphis, so special thanks to Des for doing that. A lot of great dignitaries here. We appreciate it. It's great to see past students and friends and family and Father Todd making the visit. We really appreciate that. Everyone affiliated with Seton has known at some point this event would happen. Des' time playing basketball here at Seton was, some of the best times that have ever been had in this gymnasium. Certainly put Mosey Memorial Gymnasium on the map, and Josh and John can attest to that. I'm pretty sure we were on ESPN a couple times, right? Thanks to Des, right? That's a good thing. And I'm guessing, I don't know if Mr. Cohen has the stats or if a Grizzlies rep is here. I'm guessing per capita, we're probably the biggest NBA League Pass community. Don't need stats for that. Per capita, I think we get that. So I'm hoping, Xfinity or DirecTV or something gives us a discount. That'd be cool. It was great watching him play in Texas. As many of you know, I'm from Waco, Texas, so it was great to see Des play down there and play in facilities that I was in and thrown out of. It's just great with the Seton family how much it really is a family. And I got to see that last night, being with Des and Billy Webster III and some of the other guys from their grade and the team, and how cohesive of a family they are. And I think that's one of the great things about Seton Catholic, and it's great to see that Des still embraces that. So we mentioned the Community Day. That's a great thing. And this morning, we're here to celebrate Des' success, and also, it would be remiss, it's also a celebration of Bob and Fabby Baine. So if we take just a round of applause for Bob and Fabby. Yeah, certainly great people, and while they're not here physically, they are here in spirit down in front, and until we see them again, we certainly appreciate everything that they have done. So, without further ado, because we've got a great event, and I'm telling you guys, we've got some stories, right? We've got some stories, and they're good, and able to tell in the gym, so it's great. So, at this time, I would like to invite Father Singal up for our prayer and invocation. Thank you.
I'm Father Singal, pastor of St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish here, and I want to welcome each one of you, and especially welcome Father Todd. He's the man who founded it, and I'm the man who is enjoying it. And Father Todd told me just now that he even held Desmond when he was 2 weeks old. That was awesome. That was great. Thank you, Father Todd, for everything and for all the blessings that you continue to give us. Now, please let us stand. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord, we bless your name and seek your providence on this beautiful day. This is a great day, a day of gratitude and a day of celebration. We thank you for the many blessings you continue to lavish on us, on Seton Catholic Schools, and the many families and the students and the staff. We especially remember the blessings you offered through our friend Desmond Baine. We are grateful to you for the generosity of so many well-wishers and the people who deeply care for the mission of Catholic education in our community. We are your beloved people, and you call us to bring everyone true friendship with your Son, so our lives may be transformed, and in and through this transformation, our communities and the world. As we celebrate this day of blessing and success, enable us to be generous in our commitment to your mission, and enable us each day to listen to your voice and be your people. Keep all of us under your providential care, especially Desmond Baine, his family. May he grow successful and faithful and be of inspiration to the many young people who witness his dedication. And at the end, let us say with St. Paul, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, and I kept the faith. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Hey, look at this. Welcome to our timeshare presentation about Fargo, North Dakota. Now, what does it take to get you into a condo in Fargo? No, it's too cold. Don't do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Desmond Baine has arrived. Now, we have some cool things for you. You know, maybe a gift or two. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. But what I'd like for you to do now, if you don't mind, is to have a seat. Is your coaches and I are going to have some storytelling about you. It's going to go one of those ways, I promise. So let's see. Let's get some of these on. And there will be time for rebuttal. So you'll have an opportunity. There you go. All right, so as many of you know, Desmond has been a student of Seton, but he wasn't always at Seton. I think he arrived in fourth grade. But what some of you may not know is Josh Juergens, head coach of the Seton Catholic Cardinals, and John Blevins, assistant coach of the Seton Cardinals, have been with Des since third grade, coaching at the Y and things of those nature. So good news, we're going to begin there. Give us some thoughts or story points about Des as a third grader up until junior high.
Well, it was funny because we were 19 when we got the volunteer job for the Boys and Girls Club school teams, and Des was on the Crestdale team, and he was one of the younger guys on there. And during the games and practices, he would dribble up and down the court like singing a song in his head or like out loud the entire time and hitting every shot as a third grader. And we were like, all right, this kid's different. And I mean, it kept going from there. He just kept getting better and better. And I mean, we knew from then, like, all right, this kid's going to be the real deal. So we knew that name the rest of the time and followed it. And it just ended up working out that, you know, we came here when he came here. And I mean, the rest is history.
So singing songs, that's going to come back up, I think, if I'm not sure. So that's a good deal. So then we get to junior high. And as you mentioned, you had a pretty good idea that there was some talent there. And one of my memories is you were coaching, and I think it was your first year. And I remember Mr. Baine and Mr. Cliff Dickman. I don't know if Cliffy's here. Is Cliff here?
Cliff's up there.
Your sniper, right? Cliff Dickman, shooter. And I remember them sitting in the last two chairs right over there by that door. And can you give us some insight on that as eighth graders?
My first year, so obviously the goal was keep Desmond the entire, I mean, duh. Like, that's what you have to do from when I was hired was keep Des. And so we just we invited him to all the varsity stuff, him and Cliff. We invited him to all the varsity stuff to be the ball boy, to come to practice, just because we had to keep him close. Everybody was pulling at him. we knew that like other people were talking to him, other coaches wanted him, but we had to keep him close. So we involved him in everything, kept him, treated him like he was one of the varsity players early, and luckily it worked out.
Now, this is your first foray into this. I was going to ask this later on, but I think it's apropos here. What was more difficult, your high school recruiting or your college recruiting?
I mean, yeah, they were both crazy. I mean, my grandma, you know, she wouldn't let me get away from this school. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Thank you, Fabby.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. You know, I was 13, 14 years old, you know, coming into high school, didn't really know what, you know, was best for me, and she did, you know, so she made sure that I ended up here, and like you said, the rest is history.
So Fabby Baine, the greatest recruiter in the history of America.
Ever.
Got it. Now, I just heard this story last night for the first time, and you're going to get this story for free. I think you should pay for it because it's that good. Freshman year, I believe, what was it, Shortridge? No.
That was his sophomore year.
Sophomore. Okay, well, let's go back to freshman year. Late in the game, Coach Juergens is drawing up a play for young Adam Schroeder, who's in the crowd. Thank you, Adam, for being here. Sophomore year.
Freshman year, he got to play with Schroeder and them, and I mean, Des was like he was early at TCU, where everybody in here probably wanted him to shoot the ball more than he was. Same thing in high school. You just tell him all the time, dude, shoot. You're really good, shoot. And he was just that freshman that just wanted to defer to all the seniors and let them score and let everybody else. And he did his job and only averaged like 7 points a game, but he ran the point guard for us. We ended up beating Northeastern at Earlham by like 20 his freshman year. We did a lot of things, a lot of good things with him. And he just, but again, it's that whole, I want others got to do well. I'll sit back and do my job instead of just forcing it. And I think it worked out in the end, but man, it was hard to get him to score.
And you guys were pretty adamant you were going to beat Northeastern by 20 that year,
Oh,
too.
yeah. We told everybody before, we'll beat you by 20.
You may or
We'll beat
may
them by
not
20,
have some
and we beat them
wagers
by
on that
exactly
at the
20.
time, yeah. So sophomore year, I apologize. These notes were made late at night. That's mostly your fault. But so you're drawing up a play for Adam in this game as Dez's sophomore year. So kind of get us into the huddle there as you're doing that.
So we're drawing up the play. I was right here. We're drawing up the play. I think that we were down 2, and we needed to go full court in like 4 seconds. And we were drawing up, do this, do that, do that. And Dez just looks up, and he goes, "You just want me to score?" And literally, I put the cap on the pin, put the marker down, put the board down, said, "Yes, let's go." And he literally drew right down the floor, made a layup at the buzzer to tie it up. And he had to outshine Cliff, who went off for 31 that game. But, of course, Dez had to take the shine there.
So was that the first time where you thought, oh, yeah, I'll just score? Yeah, it will. Is that?
Yeah, it was definitely the changing point in my career for sure.
And you,
for
you
sure.
could tell it wasn't just the, oh, you want me to score. You could see the light click in his head because we drew the play up, we finished it. Everybody understand? Oh, you just want me to score? Yes, please score. And he takes it the full length, gets the layup. We go into overtime and end up winning. So, but I think that was definitely the point when it clicked for him. Like, hey, I can score at will. Like, I can do this. So that's
I
one
can
of my
take
favorite
over.
stories to tell.
All right, so that was good.
And there was a game at National Trail where he hit about 4 or 5 straight threes, and I was on the sideline cheering like a cheerleader. I mean, jumping up and down I was a fan. I was not a coach. I was a fan. And he just looked at me like I was crazy, and I'm like, dude, you can do this all the time. Like, isn't this fun? And he just, it was fun though. It was real fun.
So anything else from junior year that stands out?
Junior year, we played 5 guys.
5 of them.
JJ knows. We played 5 guys, and I don't know how we did it. We won 18 games with 5 guys, won a sectional title, went to a regional. Like, with 5 guys, legit. Like, we look back at the pictures, and there's only 5 people that played. So, like, all of those guys had to play all the minutes, and I still don't know how we did it. But he ended up averaging like 27 his junior year, beat some teams we probably shouldn't have beat. But when you got a guy like that, you just let it go.
So before we move on to senior year, I have a question. You know, I went back and looked at some of the broadcasts that I did. You know, I broadcast almost all your entire college career or high school career. College, they wouldn't let me. You know, too big. You always have been deferential to your teammates. When you were a junior and Billy Webster III was a sophomore and starting to show how good he was, is that when you knew you could rely on your teammates to where you didn't just have to be the guy?
I mean, I think Coach Jurgen, like he said, I mean, I relied on my teammates, you know, from the beginning. You know, we had a close knit. We go to the YMCA almost every day after school. You know, it started with Adam and Rhett and those older guys really taking us under our wing. And we did the same for Billy and Zach when those guys were coming up. So, you know, we relied on each other, and it was just a close-knit group. So, you know, when we got out here on the court, it was easy.
And then going into his junior summer was the summer that he made the bet on the wall in there.
Called a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's not tell it where exactly it is because we don't want any, vandalism
it's
in it to disappear because it's an autograph.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It hasn't been erased in this many years, but
But there was a bet, and I believe you won that bet.
yeah.
So it was going into your sophomore year, right? So going into his sophomore year, we had Zach Lett. Some of you may remember, he's a big 6'9" kid. He was going to be a junior. And they were in the training room, which is the door right there.
Thanks for
And-
giving away, we need a lock on that, Trent.
It's locked. It's locked.
It's fine.
And they were in there just talking, who's going to have the better upcoming season, who was going to do this, who was going to do that. And they ended up writing on the wall for some reason. They made the bet, what was it? Who would score more points the next season and who would go D1. And they both signed it. I think it says they bet $50 or something. But
Well, we need to maintain eligibility. Yeah.
he's hurting for it, so we'll get a hold of Zach to get that to you.
But, hey,
anyway,
with interest, though, that's getting to be there.
Compounding too, yeah. But he called his shot going into his sophomore year. He knew he had the talent to go D1. I mean, to the point where he made a bet and wrote it on the wall. I mean, and I think that goes to show you who Desmond is. The fact that one, he called a shot, and two, that he wrote it on the wall. I mean, like,
Yeah.
just being the kid Desmond is, didn't think twice, and they just both wrote it on there, signed it, and I mean,
Yeah,
it
not-
worked out. It happened. He called
Not
a shot.
graffiti, memorabilia. That's
exactly.
That is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it is.
And that's kind of a recurring theme that we've seen where you consistently bet on yourself, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it's interesting. That's also where you hear a lot. We talked about being deferential to your teammates, not being just the center of the universe, even though you certainly could have been. How you kind of had a Jordan moment with, I think it was with Cliff, right? The sectional championship game.
Cliff had to bail him out. Yeah.
The corner three.
Yeah. Dez was driving down the middle. We were down, I think, 2, and we drew up a play, and Dez just drove down the middle, got hit by 2 dudes, kicked it to the corner. Cliff made I think a buzzer beater, like with 2 seconds left to win the game. But of course, Cliff had to pull the Steve Kerr and bail Jordan out again.
Was that the first sectional championship, or
No, we won sophomore year was his first.
so-
Yeah, sophomore year was his first one.
So? My favorite story is coming up. That was a rising senior, junior year, senior year, and you're probably not going to remember this, but we were at Adam Schroeder's graduation party, and you and Coach Juergens were kings of the cornhole area. So myself and Steve Maurer, who's here in the audience, we decided, hey, we're going to take these guys on. So we're watching, and they're playing really well. And I decide, well, I got to rattle Dez because he was hitting everything. So I take a $100 bill out of my thing that I probably had stole, and I put it on the cornhole thing. Hey, we want to play for 100. And Dez goes, oh, no, we can't do that. And I go, okay. So his first throw after that did not go in the hole. If you're not familiar with cornhole, you get 3 points in the hole, and that's where I should have learned my lesson. Is anything involving 3, you're pretty good at. So the first one does not go in the hole, it just gets on the board. And there are many witnesses here. I think it was the next 12, 15 that were directly in the hole. So I learned 2 lessons that day. One, pride go before the falleth a man, because I was pride. Can't let the senior beat me, old man. And the second was, do not ever play anything that involves 3 with Desmond Baine. So that was a good. And if I'm not mistaken, this is where you guys did a tour of summer ball. Yeah. And this, get your cameras ready, because this is a great story. So you're traveling in Josh's van.
Yeah.
Going to
Because
summer basketball.
Back then, we would take like 6 people, and literally we took my family van to take them there. Not a bus, we took my van. And I have all these big kids in the back, his big self, Billy's big self, all in the back, and we get to Marion, we play like 3 games, and then he starts cramping up. And we've got like an hour before the next game. So we pile in the van, and he's literally in the back of my van with his leg in the air over everybody, like cramping.
Screaming.
And we're just like, what's going to fix this? Like, what do we find? He's like, bananas or something. And finally, we landed on mustard packets. And we went all over Marion looking for mustard packets at a gas station. And we found some, and he's just chugging them. I mean, just trying to get rid of these cramps. Ended up getting rid of them and playing great the next 2 days. And, I mean, that's where his college recruiting really picked up, was at that Indiana Wesleyan tournament. But thank God for mustard packets, or who knows what's going to happen.
Mr. Cohen, I think French's Mustard's online too, so we can get a merchandising. So do you remember this, that you were calling for mustard? I mean, they were trying to get you Gatorade or whatever else, and you said no mustard packets.
And after that, I didn't go anywhere without a bottle of mustard in my bag. I'm serious. Them cramps, hey, still have nightmares about them, for real. But I'm good now. You know, now I'll carry around a gallon jug of water or something, but I ain't cramping, that's for sure.
Thankfully, mustard got us into the senior year, which turned out to be a pretty good year for you, right? But before that, speaking of cramps, I know there's some physicians in here, dentists. We've got some learned doctors in the room. Last night, for the first time in my life, I heard the phrase Oschenschlatter. If you don't know, please let Mr. Baine tell you what Oschenschlatter is. Can you do it for me?
My teammates could probably tell it better than me. Before every game, after every game, that's all I did was complain about how bad my knees hurt. Schroeder got a good little imitation of it too. My knees. When I was just a young kid before I hit puberty, hey, my knees was screaming though, like, cause I was just growing so fast, and the tendons in my knees wasn't growing as fast as my bones. So like this ball would fall on my knee. They all thought I was making it up. I was being for real. My knees was killing me.
And see, that was before I had a daughter, so I was tough coach back then. I would make them run all the time, and now I got a daughter, I'm soft. But I used to make him run all the time, and all you hear him is, "It's my knees, coach. I don't want to run. Come on."
But it was Oschenschlatter. How did you? I mean, where did you come up with Oschenschlatter?
My grandma took me to the doctor, and that's what they called it.
Yeah. He definitely hung on to that one.
Sorry, I'm gonna need a moment for Oschenschlatter. That just was great. My knees. Fantastic. So thankfully, mustard and well, I'm sorry. You just said that your teammates would make fun of you about it, that they didn't believe you. I heard a story last night. Maybe it was because you were on a bike and smiling at them as they're running while you're on the bike, just kind of chilling, like you're Lance Armstrong over there. That is what it is. All right.
Hey, it worked.
It worked. All right, we'll move on. So we get to senior year, and for those of you that were around at that time, that was a pretty magical year. Give us an idea at the beginning of the season. You guys had to have known that it was going to be a special year. I'm guessing you didn't quite turn out as good as it did, but give us some insight at the beginning of the season, what you were seeing.
Well, it was like a practice before the season started. I gathered everybody at midcourt, and I knew how good we were going to be because I knew how good he was. I knew how good Billy was, Cliff, all of them. Like, they knew what they were doing. They all bought in. But I gathered everybody at midcourt, and I sent Des to the locker room because I want to talk to everybody else. And I just told these guys, like, look, not everybody gets a chance to play with a kid like this. Not everybody gets a chance to play with a talent like this. Do whatever you have to do to take full advantage of what he's going to do for you. Buy into your role. If you're the guy that sets the screens, set good screens. If you're the guy that rebounds, get all the rebounds. Like, he's going to put you in the right spot, but not everybody gets this chance, so take advantage of it. And credit to those guys. I mean, they did it. Like, they were I'm still, to this day, the best team I've ever had that understood their roles and really bought in. And, I mean, that was because he was so unselfish. It was just like, he could average 50 a game if he wanted to, but he knew he needed to get everybody else involved for us to go 22-4.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, like, I just want to say I appreciate all y'all, for that season, allowing me to be a part of that season. Cliff scored 31 points as a sophomore and kind of takes a backseat role, becomes like a three-point specialist. Colton standing, by the rim, getting dump-offs all day long. Billy, went on to play college basketball but took a secondary role. We just had it was a special group, on and off the floor. So
that year, I think it was December 19th, and I know you had some other games before that were big. You beat Centerville November 28th of 2015, 66-58. Then comes Northeastern. They love them some them, and rightfully so. You know, good program, good coaching staff, and they were number 1 in 2A at the time. And this is December 19th. What memories do you have about that 76-72 victory?
It's standing room only. I mean, I don't know. Some of you probably have been in Northeastern's gym. It's decent size, and because I think at the time were we ranked yet? We were undefeated going.
I think you were ranked 6th at the time.
We were ranked.
in A.
So I mean, it was a big matchup, but just the atmosphere there, going in there and delivering. I mean, it wasn't just we went in there and enjoyed the moment. We went in there and delivered, and it was just standing room only. And I remember it vividly, just up along their stairs, people were standing just to get a glimpse. I mean, because they were good too, just to get a glimpse of those players. And we came out and just, I mean,
Shout out to Pip,
Yep,
14 in
Pip-
the first quarter.
Pip had, I think, fun fact about it, Pip was he tied. You both had 19, right? So Pip had 19, Des had 19, triple double. But yeah, I mean, we came out, we executed our game plan to both of their statements. Everybody played their role, and that was the first big game of the season where it was like, all right, like, let's go, like, we're legit. It's time to rock.
Messed around and got a triple-double.
Yep.
So, thanks. See, yeah. So at that point, I mean, at this point, you know, everybody's focusing on you because they, you know, all they hear is, oh, there's this kid at Seton. Well, you know, they don't play anybody. They're Class A. Was there a turning point to where, you know, I know you have the phrase "kill the noise." Was there a turning point kind of early in that senior season where you were like, I'll show you guys. You can double team me, triple team me. I can kick it out to my teammates, but I'll still score on you if you triple team me. Was there? You remember any of that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And I mean, I feel like I've always kind of carried that chip on my shoulder, you know, and I still got that chip on my shoulder. But, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
That's why they have me here to answer those hard-hitting questions. So that was December 19th, and that leads us into, I think, what one of Dez's most memorable times, specifically in high school. That leads us into the wedding. And I was still doing a lot of broadcasting at that time, and there was quite a bit of talk of, well, Seton's going to get blown out the first game against Richmond, which they purposefully picked because they thought it would be an easy win to get them kick-started into the wedding. And, you know, we're all friends. We've got a lot of friends with the Richmond guys. But that first game, Coach, give some, before that game, I know you guys had some bulletin board material.
Yeah, I mean, they said some stuff about we'll find out who the best in the city is, and we just stayed professional and just kept it. Yeah, we're just glad to be there, blah, blah, blah. Knowing darn well, I'm telling every one of my kids, we're going to beat them. Like, we're better than them. They're not better than us. We're going to beat them. But you just, like, they paused they didn't start the game on time because there was a line outside the door to get in. Like, they were still letting people in. It was a tournament game, so, and they delayed it because there were still people getting in because everybody wanted to see it. And, you know, there's times like sophomore, junior year where we had big games, but we always came up on the short end of it. And like they said, the Northeastern game was the first time that we came out on the right end, and then that led us to the Richmond game where, I mean, who scored the first 8 points?
Yeah, first 8 points. With trivia, anybody know who scored the first 8 points for Seton against Richmond?
My man, Billy.
Billy Webster III, that's right.
That's right. And I think if Billy don't do that, then who knows if the rest of them calm down or if we get rattled because they're tripling Dez and nobody else is scoring. So Billy doing that set the tone for everybody else, like Pip and like the rest of those guys like Cliff and Rhett and all them, or not Rhett, Cliff and Pip and Nick, that's it, and Trent and Sam. I mean, all those guys, like, it just set the tone for them, and we ended up just coming out on top, and that locker room was absolutely insane after the game.
Yeah, one of my other memories of that game was broadcasting that game, and I see Dylan Reichley, appreciate you coming. I remember Trent Reichley hitting some big threes, and again, it gets back to Dez trusting. I mean, that's a freshman at the time.
And to touch on that point, Trent wasn't supposed to play as much as Trent played. Going into the game, Pip was deathly ill, so he wasn't able to be there. Cliff rolled his ankle, backpedaling, I think second quarter maybe. So we were short-staffed. So not only Trent, but Sam Brennicky as well, those freshmen had the first real minutes in that big moment. Like Coach said, it was full. I mean, they waited to let people in because it,
Sure.
you know. So for them to step in and for Des to trust them and deliver them the ball right where they needed it in perfect shooting form, it couldn't be any prouder of all of them.
So 33-15 against Richmond, 35-12 against Warren Central. Both of those schools 4A schools, because you couldn't beat anybody outside of A. Right?
Warren Central was the third biggest high school in the state at the time, and we had less than 100 kids.
And they had some talent. And then Hamilton Heights you lose a close one to Bedford North Lawrence that puts you in the third place game, which you ultimately beat Hamilton Heights. But for those of you that don't remember, for that tournament, which the Cardinals came in third, which was a great showing. Des was named the most outstanding player of the tournament. After setting records for total points in 4 games, he scored 130 points, which is 32.5 a game. I went to public school in Texas, so I could do that math. 32.5. Total rebounds of 50, and that comes out to 12.5 a game. In your 3-point shooting, do you remember what it was, Des? 16 of 18.
And these weren't just threes.
No, that Hamilton Heights game, he went 7-6.
You've been in the cheerleading center. You know the R that's in the middle of the court. I believe you pulled up from there before Trey Young, so make sure you tell him that you got the logo. 84% from the 3-point line in that tournament. And in one game, you went 6 for 6 from the line, and tied the tournament record with 16 total 3-pointers. The wedding, is that... I know there were some college coaches there, and if I'm not mistaken, there were 5 that tried to offer you right there. Is that a true story?
Yeah. I remember, I think it was Ball State, IUPUI, Miami of Ohio, Ohio University, and possibly one more. But, yeah, it was a crazy night, to say the least.
And many of those coaches, from what I understand from last night, all thought you were going to go there because... Josh, what can't Des do?
Des cannot say no. He cannot tell anybody no, like straight up. Like he always has got to beat around the bush or kind of. There was 3 or 4 coaches that were just like, look, he loved the visit, he loved us, he says he loves the team. All I needed him to do is sign. I was like, well, good luck with that. He's not going to tell you no. He's just not going to sign. And he did that to about 4 or 5 coaches, and they would just call me and I don't know what to do. Well, I don't know what to do either, but he's not going to sign. I promise you.
And this is also where Fabby came in a little bit, because I believe you had a visit that was going to be scheduled in Green Bay, University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And wait, let's give you the mic for the crowd. What wasn't Fabby doing?
She wasn't having it. Like,
she shut that down quick.
It got to the point, like, towards the end of my recruiting, it was May, and like nothing really was moving, and Miami, Ohio, 10 minutes down the road, her and my grandpa arguing in the living room. Oh, Des, just commit to the school right around that corner. They wanted me to stay in the backyard, go to Miami, Ohio, but, nah.
Again, Fabby was the greatest recruiter Jamie Dixon had, apparently. Kind of rounding out the senior season, one of my favorite games, and I think Uncle Tony, where's Uncle Tony? I think Uncle Tony may have, were you sleeping over there? I don't know if you did the highlight video. Somebody did the highlight video of your 62-point game against Lincoln at Earlham. Did you? TJ, okay. Because as I broadcast that game, and it's one of the more idiotic statements I've ever made on a broadcast that is now highlighted in perpetuity, partially from that. But 62 points on 31 shots, if I'm not mistaken. So, kind of let that math percolate in your head. And with that victory, Seton became the first Wayne County team to beat all 5 county teams in a season. It had never been done before. Cardinals, yeah. I mentioned earlier they beat Centerville on November 28th, beat Northeastern on the 19th of December, beat the Red Devils on the 28th, beat Hagerstown January 2nd by 10, and then beat Lincoln by 34. And no disrespect to Lincoln, it could have been 50 or more. And during the broadcast, I mentioned a couple times, why are they leaving Desmond open? I mean, I don't know how many threes you hit that game, but it was a fair amount. Enough to where they maybe wanted to check
He went
it.
9 for 12.
9 for 12 from three. Yeah. But in that, one of my most idiotic statements was, as you were getting taken out of the game with a few minutes to go, I said, soak this all in, because you may never see the likes of this young man come through Seton Catholic again. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly right. That's a laughable statement, right? Because, once in a generational talent or more. But so that kind of senior season, you go get into sectionals. Give us an idea of what you guys were thinking tournament time, because you were rolling 23-4.
Yeah.
I think you finished the season.
Yeah, and we lost to the same team twice. But yeah, we knew we were good. We were number 2 in the state, which, again, no disrespect to the team or any, but if you look at the team picture, there's no way that team should be number 2 in the state. Like, there's no way we should have been number 2 in the state, and we were, and we ended up facing in the regionals the Liberty Christian, and they were number 1, so it was 1 versus 2 in a regional. Ended up beating us by like 5 or 7, but that atmosphere was crazy too, and it's just, it was awesome.
And it was in this run, I know it was prior to the regional, but it was in this run where you really became famous, viral, right? And made Maria Pippinger, I don't know if Maria's here, made her famous, right? The dunk. Give us some insight on the dunk.
I just took off running and dunked it. Yeah, Colton I think he got an offensive rebound. Somebody missed a layup, and he just threw it straight out to half court, and I just took off running. And
Yep.
yeah, the rest is history.
Yep.
Poor kid.
It was shocking that Colton would be under the basket, right? Not cherry picking or anything. Oh, let me go back real quick. One of my favorite quotes from you was after that Lincoln game at Earlham where you scored 62. Your quote was, "My teammates really helped set me up." And again, back to being deferential. It just is a recurrent theme, and it's very refreshing. So the dunk gets on ESPN. I think you become famous. Somebody in France, write some French stuff, whatever they write. No, who even knows? And I think you had a big dunk at the Hoosier Gym, if I'm not mistaken. And then at the regional, I remember there was a pretty rim-shattering one that had the cables, the steel cables rattling for a good while, and then they iced you, before you could shoot the free throw, but that wasn't good. So, yeah, anything else come up for you in your senior season? You want me to keep it, or all right, I'll keep it. So then that gets us. We talked about your high school recruiting was very very tough, along with college recruiting. You've taken a number of visits, and your first TCU visit. With some thoughts on that?
I just wanted to play at the highest level. Purdue and some other schools were kind of reaching at me, so I was really waiting, and TCU didn't feel like home at all. Like, I can't lie and be like, I went down there and it felt like home, because I was trying to get back to Richmond as fast as possible. Just because that was the first time that I had been, really away from home. Yeah, and I hated it. But, once orientation and stuff like that came, it was much better, much easier. But, yeah, it worked out.
Yeah,
Go ahead. When he says he hated it, he hated it.
Mhm.
George and I talked to him on the phone when he was down there, and he's like, "I'm coming home. I'm done with it. I'm not going back. I'm going to call Miami, see if I can get on, see if I can get over there." And it was just a situation where it was like, no, you're not. We had your graduation party was in purple. Like you have cups with your signature and the logo. You're staying down there. So when he says he didn't like it at all.
And you could tell he had talked to Fabby, and Fabby already told him no. He was just calling us to get a yes, and we were like, "No, dude."
He was
this ain't
searching for a
happening.
yes.
He was looking for somebody to say, "Yes, you can come home," and none of us. We were all like, "No, you're staying."
Recruiting job number 5 or so, right? Yeah. So TCU, and obviously you went from there and became a star. And at some point, I think you'll have your jersey number retired down there. Growing up in Texas, it's not where it wasn't a hotbed of basketball. when I was there, but I think you and Coach Dixon and the rest of the team really helped turn that around, because I went to school with a lot of TCU alums, and, oh, do you know Desmond? Yeah, I know Desmond. And he does. Yeah, he's a great guy. Coach, any parting words?
Man, or you go ahead, John. Go ahead.
All right. I appreciate you. Everything you've done for the school, for the kids, for myself, giving them hope. I don't think you fully understand the impact that you've had, not only to me, Coach Jerg, to your teammates, but to everyone. I mean, that's why they're all here for you, bro. Like, and I just want you. Even in college, your college games were an event, man. Like, I don't know if you realize it, but people would get together just to, oh, Des plays tonight. Let's get together. Let's watch Des. Where are we watching Des? So, like, your ability to bring people together, unbeknownst to you, I mean, not even knowing that you were, I just appreciate you. Everything you've done, the person you are. Knowing Desmond, coaching Desmond, you get a lot of Desmond questions. Oh, you coach a Seton, you coach Des, this and that, and everything to this day, I still do. I always tell, as good as basketball player he is, and he's the best I've coached, the best I've been around, he's a better person. He's a better kid, and he deserves everything that he got coming to him. So, and you do. You deserve it. Keep being you. Keep inspiring people by being yourself, man. You never wavered. You bet on yourself time and time again, and it worked out. You never took the easy way. It would have been easy to go to Richmond. It would have been easy to go to Miami. It would have been easy to snag one of those D2 offers before your senior year. It would have been easy to leave TCU. It would have been easy to go the draft early, but you always bet on yourself to better yourself, and that's inspiring. Again, I appreciate you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for the opportunity to be here, and just for being you, man. Appreciate you.
I can't go on for too long, or I'm not going to get through it. Just a big thanks, dude. I mean, you know what you mean to me. You know I love you. You're the best player I'm ever going to coach, and I'm 10 years in. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, they're hanging your jersey because of how good you were at basketball. But if they were hanging a jersey because of the person you are, that's what we should be doing, because the person that you are is unreal. I've never had a kid buy in like you. Like, you just kind of understood to the media and to adults, I got to put on this face. But then behind the scenes, I can still be a kid, and you're still that kid. But you understood that to get liked and to get where you wanted to go and to be a good person, like, you had to get along with people. You had to remember the people that got you to where you're at. And I don't think you've ever forgot anybody. I mean, my kids see you on TV as Desmond the superstar. I'm like, that's Des. Like, that's not, I mean, to you, you're Desmond, or to them, you're Desmond Baine that they see on TV. And to me, it's just like, well, that's crazy, because that's all these kids at Seton now don't know a Seton where an NBA player hasn't came from it, which is unreal. And forever, my kids are going to know that you can make it anywhere, no matter what school you go to. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate everything you did for me. Appreciate all the sprints you did. I appreciate all the summer stuff you went to, leading us. I mean, just getting everybody involved, getting everybody to open gyms. Like, you don't know what that means to me. And I was green. I was young. Like, I didn't know much. I didn't know a lot of X's and O's, but I thought I knew how to handle people. And, you know, we got a hold of that car, the Desmond car, and we did not turn it off the road. We kept it straight. So I don't know how much we helped, but we did not get in the way, and I'm just happy about that. So thank you, man.
We're going to hear from Des a little bit later. We're going to get started with the rest of the thing, as I know you've got some other plans. But, you know, we talked about that, the recurring theme, Des always bet on himself. And as I was thinking last night, you know, after we had a chance to talk a little bit last night, that's great, but I think you've told me before, the key is putting the work in to make it happen. And I was thinking last night, and I thought, you know, without the work, it's just a dream. With the work, it's destiny. And I think you made that happen. And not only was God-given talent, maybe from Father Todd holding you at 2 weeks or whatever it was, and obviously your own abilities, but you put the work in. You had the desire and made it so. Thank you. And by the way, thank you for making me look good in broadcasts and interviews, because you had poise and savvy that many high school kids don't. And to Jurg's point, it was a lot easier interviewing you after a game than some of these other yahoos. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Juergens, John Blevins, and Desmond Baine. So we got some fun stuff, the worst kept secret in Richmond, I think. I mean, everybody either knows you or is related to you, so I'm sure some of this isn't going to be. Thank goodness the Colonel's 11 secret herbs and spices aren't kept in Richmond, because I don't think it would have been kept. But at this point, I'd like to invite up Seton Catholic Athletic Director Trent Tremaine, kind of get us started on the next point of this event. Trent Tremaine.
Again, I'm Athletic Director Trent Tremaine, and as our coaches mentioned, I want to thank all of you for being here today. And I really think it's a testament to Des and not only his abilities as a basketball player, but more it speaks to his character and the type of person he is, that so many people from over the years have gathered here to recognize this special event. I've been here the past 15 years as Athletic Director. I was here throughout Dez's entire career, and I consider myself extremely blessed to have been here during that time. Definitely the most memorable moments of my career as Athletic Director, and this little trip down memory lane was certainly a great experience. Just reflecting over all this time as leading up to this event was really fun moments for me as well, and this little Q&A session was definitely awesome. I just wanted to reflect a little bit too and why we do these jersey retirements. Just recently, as I was preparing for this event, I happened to be listening to a CD that I'd actually from my childhood I passed down to my kids, and on that CD was Bob Costas discussing like famous plays from sporting events throughout history. And they kind of set the scene for the famous Havlicek stole the ball play, and I talked about the mystique from the Boston Garden, and you kind of, those of you who are familiar with that play, it talked about the jerseys that are hanging in the rafters at the Boston Garden, and the importance that everybody who walks in there, they see that, and it reminds them of the past players that have played for the Celtics, and that's such a big deal when you talk about just the history of a program. And that's one of those big deals, and you still see that today in the new TD Garden that the Celtics play in. You walk into Banker's Life and you look up there and you see the famous the jerseys that are hanging in the rafters there, and you see George McGinnis, Reggie Miller, Mel Daniels, Roger Brown, Slick Leonard, all Hall of Famers. So it's a really big deal when you see that. Seeing Dez's jersey retire in our gym, I believe it's going to be a symbol to future athletes that anything is possible. Much like we have those record boards as you walked into the atrium. It's going to give them goals, something for them to shoot for and achieve. Our history simply cannot be told without Des, and just like the old Boston Garden, it's going to be important for everyone who walks in here to know that Desmond Baine played in our gym. I think the timing of this event is also important. And so just like, not only does Des, he's proven himself at the high school level. That's been evident as we talked here. But, it's important that, it goes beyond just high school. There's a lot of good high school players. But he's proven himself now at the college and professional levels as well. Obviously, we all knew Des was special as both a player and a person in high school. And we tried, Coach Juergens, Coach Blevins, how many people did we tell how special he was? And we tried to convince them how special he was, and he wasn't just a good 1A player. Thankfully, TCU had the faith in him to offer him. But I think over time, more and more people, and I think it's a testament seeing everyone here today, they've seen what a special person he is and what a special player and a person he is, and we see how many people are gathered here today. I think that makes this event even more special. Obviously, I don't think there's anyone that's more deserving of this honor, and there's no one that I am more proud to be here to honor today. So, we do have one gift that we'd like to present to Des. Now, Des does already have his jerseys, his high school jerseys. But we have a gift to give to Des today. So, Coach Jordan and Coach Blevins, could you present Des with this gift? And now, Desmond, we couldn't be more proud of you, all you've accomplished as both a player, as a person, and we know you'll continue to do great things. And now the moment that we've been waiting for, if you could turn your attention to the west wall, we will now officially retire Desmond Baines' jersey here at Seton Catholic.
Congrats, buddy. And Des, the accolades just keep coming. I think at this time, I'd like to invite our honorable mayor, Mr. Dave Snow. I think you're getting a police escort every time you're in town or something. I don't know, but ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Dave Snow.
Thank you. Well, I talked to Desmond right after the draft, and I said something to him that I think he probably remembers. I said, if you keep this up, I have no doubt that as people roll into Richmond in the future, there's going to be a sign that says home of Desmond Baine. I know that that day is coming. What a tremendous day this is to celebrate all the work you have done, and how special it is that you would take your time to come spend it with us here in your hometown. You continue to share your success with us. You've continued to uplift this community, and you continue to give back even today after this event. So thank you for that. You've brought us along on your journey, and I have no doubt that this is just one stepping stone in a long and storied career that you're going to continue to take us along with you on. So thank you, Desmond, for all you've done. I have a special proclamation that it was truly a pleasure to make as a fellow Seton student to honor the work that you have done. Whereas we are here today to honor Desmond Baine, who is a 2016 graduate of Seton Catholic High School, who has become known to many as a local hometown hero. And whereas Desmond achieved many milestones while playing basketball at Seton Catholic, such as 3-time sectional champion, Seton Catholic career scoring leader, Wayne County career scoring leader, Indiana All-Star and Wedding Tournament most outstanding player. And whereas after graduating, Desmond signed to play for Texas Christian University, where he finished his collegiate career as TCU's all-time winningest player, became the first TCU player to earn first team All-Big 12 and the first to earn first team AP All-Big 12. And whereas in 2020, Desmond was a first-round 30th overall draft pick for the NBA, and in November of 2020 signed to play for the Memphis Grizzlies. Since that time, he has achieved NBA All-Rookie second team, led all rookies with 43.2% from three-point range, and first among NBA rookies in spot-up shooting percentage, just to name a few. And whereas Desmond has accomplished all this while being a great role model for the youth here in Richmond as well as in Memphis. And whereas he never wavers in his passion to give back to his community, whether it be hosting back-to-school drives or contributing to local businesses and other charitable endeavors. And whereas Desmond is a shining example of what we can achieve when we stay focused, stay grounded, and strive to be the best that we can be. Now therefore, I, David M. Snow, Mayor of the City of Richmond, call upon all citizens of this great city to join me in proudly honoring Desmond Baine for his tremendous accomplishments and his commitment to inspire the American youth to continue to dream big and achieve big. Thank you, Desmond. It's my honor to present this to you.
I think you also get a discount at Legends, I think, which is good, which is good. Before we get to hear from Desmond, this may be my favorite thing of this event. If I could call Stephanie Kitchen and Adria Morgan to announce a really special scholarship. And Uncle Tony, come on, Unc. You always are welcome.
Good afternoon. Thanks everybody for being here. It's amazing to see the gym filled with so many familiar faces, former teammates, teachers, your family. Your family is amazing. I have had more fun talking to them and learning. I always knew y'all were close knit, but you truly are blessed with the love that y'all have for each other. So I'm the admissions and development coordinator here at Seton, and about 5 months ago when I took this position, it was brought to my attention by Mr. Markward that there were some people who were wanting to make donations to our school in honor of Bob and Fabby Baine. And so after talking with Adria, their family very generously had offered that instead of flowers being given in their honor, that they would like donations made to our school. So it's such a blessing because we know that they both very much valued Catholic education. As we've all heard, Fabby was not letting him leave this school for many reasons, and we're forever grateful for that. So we are just very honored and pleased to announce the Bob and Fabby Baine Memorial Scholarship. This scholarship is going to benefit students in grades pre-K all the way through grade 12 to afford the same gift that Desmond and others have been blessed to receive. We're so grateful for your family, and we're grateful for Bob and Fabby Baine's love and dedication to our school.
You guys all know I don't need one of these, right? When I was first told about this, and I shared it with my sisters, it really struck us in our heart because there's no way that you could honor mom and dad any better than what you guys have. Sorry about this. I saw these chairs this morning. I come up here. I had no idea they were going to have them there, and they're here with us. We got to believe that, and I'm sure they're just happy as heck looking down on us. And this is a great, great, great honor. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
And Uncle Tony has said it best, that there just couldn't be any better honor for Grandma and Grandpa. And we just want to thank you all in advance for anything you can contribute. If you are prepared to make a donation today, there is a table in the atrium set up, and we just appreciate anything. Thank you.
What a special honor for special people. So thank you, Bob and Fabby and family. Thank you so much for that. All right. You ready? Sorry. I'll come to you, or you can come up here. But, I did PA a lot for your games, broadcast most of them. So if you don't mind, I'm not going to go all PA guy, but if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, a 6'6" guard from Seton Catholic High School, number 1, Desmond Baine.
I'll take first off, I'm not going to stand in front of this podium. Feel a little more comfortable just kind of pacing back and forth, so I'll move around a little bit. I hope that's cool. But I want to thank everyone, starting with Seton Catholic, of course, for putting this event on, allowing my family and friends and the community to share this special event. I'm extremely thankful. Obviously, my grandma and grandpa, I can't go anywhere before I talk about them. They brought me in and took me in when they didn't have to, made a lot of sacrifices for me, were retired, but still worked every day. My grandpa on the lawnmower until he died. My grandma coming home from the hospital with COVID, still trying to get things ready for Christmas. Her spirit was so strong-willed. It was hard for it not to fall into my life, and affect me the way it did. So I want to thank them, of course. Wish they could be here to see this. I know they're here in spirit. But yeah, first off, I want to thank them. I want to thank my whole entire family, for just being a support system that I've needed, throughout this entire journey. It's been an incredible journey, but we're just getting started. It's only my rookie year in the books. It's been a heck of a ride. To my friends, to all the little ones that are here seeing this and all the events and things, keep dreaming. I've been dreaming since I was just a kid, and I'm still dreaming. Whether that's to be a good father down the road, a good husband, a good businessman, a good basketball player. Life, Father Todd said it yesterday, one of the things my grandma used to say is, life is bigger than basketball. Obviously, I put a lot of time, a lot of work, hard work into this, but, this is just a small portion of my life. The way that I can affect the community and affect the kids, that's something that's going to live forever. And, like events like today and things, it's extremely special to me. So thank you, Seton. Thank you, my family, for allowing me to do this and for supporting me. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Des, and thank you for those comments. And I need to thank some people for us as a group and a community. First off, Desmond, appreciate you. I mean, everyone has said it. Your ability to be a good person. Richmond, for a small town, has had some pretty good athletes. I mean, you think about Lamar Lundy, Vegas Ferguson, Paul Flatley, some of these guys. Lamar Lundy, I had the fortune to work with at the radio station. It was great. And, you're picking up that torch and carrying it on to even new levels. So thank you for remembering, or for being genuine and being you. And as John pointed out, I tell people all the time, he's a better kid. I'm an old man, so I can say you're a kid. He's a better person than basketball. So thank you, Desmond, for being here. Thank you to the Baine family. Thank you, guys. It's such a blessing to have you in our community, and thanks for getting Des to practices and all those things, and keeping it, Fabby, for keeping him here. Thank you, Fabby, and Bob, but thank you, Fabby. The Akiko family, thank you folks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Nice to meet you all, and we'll really welcome you to the community and the family, and thanks for attending. I really got to thank the Grizzlies organization. They've been integral behind the scenes to get this event. I know they helped you with the event in Memphis, and certainly helping us here with the backpack event coming up from 12 to 3. So appreciate those folks, and I'll be sending you some ticket money soon. I'd like to thank Layla Sultani of Legacy Philanthropy. Appreciate you and your help here. Mr. Cohen, Seth Cohen, Dez's agent, and fortunately your refrigerator will be stocked with mustard from now on, so that's going to be cool. But thank you for being here and all your help and taking care of our Des. Nancy Sampson and her daughter. Look at these balloons. How cool is this? These balloons. balloon arrangements and stuff. So thank you, Nancy, and I apologize that I don't know your daughter's name, but thank her for us. Wetzel Auto, appreciate Nick Wetzel and Jara Schwer for sponsoring the reception that is out in the Taggart Atrium. It is catered by the Legan Legacy and Corner Cafe at the Leland. Appreciate them and appreciate you having orange Challengers. See what I can do for you, man. And again, I mentioned it. I mean, obviously it's great getting to see everybody. Some people we haven't seen in a long time, but my favorite thing is the Bob and Fabby Baine Memorial Scholarship. So as Adria mentioned, there will be some information in the atrium about that. Highly encourage you to support if you can. What a great way to honor their memory and all the things that they did for the Seton community. Father Todd, thank you for coming over. And as Father Kevin used to famously say, stay out of the left lane if you're going to Indianapolis, because Todd will be getting back at some time. But great to see Father Todd Reeby. Thank you all the former Seton students, Seton teachers, administrators. Thank you all for being here as well. Thank you, Mayor Snow. Thank you, Aaron Stevens and crew. Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate you, Bobby, for coming over and taking care of Des. Neil. Thank you all, guys. Josh, John, Cody, all the crew. You made this event great. So there will be snacks in the atrium. The backpack event will be in the parking lot from 12 to 3, and I do believe Mr. Baine is going to be able to take some photos and maybe sign some pictures for some younger folks, maybe some older folks if you have cash, whatever. Again, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. What's that? John, yeah, give it to John. He's the trustworthy one of the coaches. So really, what a great event. Look forward to maybe more stuff like this down the road. Who knows? Hopefully some shooting camps and other things down the road. Thanks. Safe travels when you go back and how your summer goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Desmond Baine.
Magic is really a kind of science. And we're going to do a science experiment. It looks scary and dangerous. It's not. It's a science experiment. I'm going to explain what we're going to do. Then we're going to do the experiment with somebody right down there in number 4. Don't change your mind. Don't change your mind.
Same thing, 2 more t-shirts, these will do large this time. Let's do this first. We got 2 basketball goals. Chase, Jennings. Chase will go. Large t-shirts. And something. I can't read it. Bananas. And then we got a Jarvis. Jarvis.